Alrighty. Hopefully everything is working today. Um, you never know sometimes. So I gotta do a quick yeah, it looks good. Um, yeah, so today I'm doing a little tech update and all positive stuff today. So what I wanted to do is show you a couple things, a couple of projects I've been working on. I've got uh, three different projects are going. I've got some other projects that are coming up. A bunch of them are for, hey, Possum. A bunch of these projects are all for updating my studio. So, and I've been getting some great product donations. I'll call them product donations because literally I'm doing reviews on them, but usually stuff that I review, I'm actually thinking about using. And this one I've actually been using for a while because one of the things I've wanted to do is I've been trying to, if you look behind me, well, my other shoulder right there, that's my old Rode mic. And it's really a timeless microphone. Mike, the thing about microphones when you're doing live streaming, um, is that you want something that looks good because it has to look pleasing. Um, it has to make sense in your studio. You know, it has to fit in really well. And that one back there has always been kind of heavy. It's always taken up more space than I've wanted it to. I finally got it mounted on an arm, but I mean, heavy is good with a mic. I mean, heavy means that it's built well. But mic technology has really moved forward a lot, especially in so that one back there was one of the first USB mics. So it's got a preamp built into it. And most of us when we started live streaming, we had to use a mic system without a preamp. Or with a preamp, we had to without a preamp, then we had to add it. So we had to have a separate device, to send it to the computer and change the signal, or get the analog signal in, so we could turn it into digital beauty and send it out into YouTube land. So anyway, the cool thing about this mic that I've learned is it's simple. It's really built nice. It has a nice feel to it. I actually have looked at a lot of other reviews on this. This has been around for a little while, but I think it sounds nice. And that's the thing is, the mic needs to sound good. So I want you to. So I'm running it. I'm running this. This is a mic that was sent to me by Fifine. So Fifine actually makes a lot of like podcasting gear. Um, and this, let me just go over and just kind of slide this over a little bit here. Just slide this mic over. So this is the mic I'm using right now, and it's a really good budget level mic. Now I've got my Insta 360 video. I'll be showing you that too here in a minute. But yeah, so this is the Fifine K688. It's been around for a long time. It comes in a bunch of different colors and it works really good. So and those are the things that really make this product decent. So it sells a lot because it's affordable and one of the things that's nice about is to find affordability, but have a USB mic that isn't a XLR mic. It doesn't take up a lot of space. You don't have to have a preamp, and it has it built in. And they finally have taken the preamp and put it inside the mic body. So that's the good thing about it. I've got an audio control. It does have the ability for me to set it up with headphones. Um, so I've been testing this out. This has been it's a good project. Really been a really good project. So here are some of the features about it, and Um, a lot, all of them have, they've, they've basically taken all of these and they've made it so it's really simple. And that's really what the key to this one is. I can adjust my audio on the fly. I can, it does create a good sound. I don't have to scream into it. I don't have to set it up where and that was the problem with my other. I've used a lot of cheap microphones, guys. I've tried everything. But one of the nice things about the Rode mic that I've had was that it had a nice dynamic sound without having to hook up an extra power supply to it. And there wasn't a lot of, it could take the power of the USB and give it had enough energy to make it sound decent. The great thing about USB-C is we get more capability. So anyway, this is the one I've been using, and I think I'm making the full transition. I did a couple of things. I said, okay, I'll do this mic for you guys, but I want you to do two things. I want the mic, and then I also want you to give me a good quality mic stand for it because all my mic stands are garbage. Okay, so any of you guys that have, let me go back to my other scene. I want to show you something really quick. Give me a second. I got a lot of crap around here, so I have to go grab it really quick. But all right. Okay, so all of us have these. If you've done a home studio, all of us have these things laying around. These freaking cheap ass freaking metal mic stands. They're garbage. They're absolute garbage. They take up space. They got these ugly freaking, I mean, and sounding. So they're just not cool looking. They don't look nice. They're functional though. Okay, I'll give it that. This has actually got my old. Look at that. That's how old. That's how old this thing is. Check this out. This is the old. Remember the old printer cables? And yeah, it's this is the mic input for the Rode. So, anyways, I think this one is finally toast. Um, Even though I probably could sell it right now, and everybody like, oh man, I haven't seen one of those around in a while. But the one I've used forever, and let's give it a little bit of let's get it of a nice send off because it's served me well for a long time. I mean, this thing's 8 years old. Um, so and like I said, every time I pick it up, it's beautiful. I mean, this is the old what they call it the NT-USB. And this is a very fine microphone. It's beautiful. I mean, it's got a really good quality input. It's got nice dials. Everything about it is made good. Rode is a great mic company. But to get into something like this brand new back in the day, these were like $300. I remember when I bought it, I was like, oh my God. And there's the old input right there. But I thought I was never, I thought I was never gonna, be able to get a good mic. I finally bought this thing, and it cost me an arm and a leg. This thing here does all the stuff this thing does. It looks nicer, and it takes up. It weighs like ounces compared to this. So you've seen all the mics I've had. I've got stuff outside sitting in a drawer. I think I've got another junk mic up there somewhere. But anyway, so this one is my replacement, and we're retiring the NT USB. Probably put what I should do is put this thing on eBay because it's somebody's going to love it. I mean, it just looks nice. Look at that. So it's just time for me to move on. I'm going to downscale my quality. But no, but okay. So one of the mic tests that makes this one really good and also makes this one really good is I can move around. I'm like crazy. Okay. I mean, I spent $65 on something. No, I didn't, Kai. That's the beauty of this mic is I spent nothing on it. That's what makes it wonderful. This one I spent over 300 on. So if you want to know what this thing cost back in the day, this is a $350 mic. This is not garbage. Um, but neither is this one. I mean, I used this for a while, and I mean, I'm using it for over 2 weeks now, and it's just nice. So if you take off the pop filter on this, oh crap! I think I almost died. That almost broke my foot falling over. Oh my gosh, that thing damn near killed me. I mean, you have to have a special stand for this because it's so front weighted. All right. Okay, so I'll put this back over here. But this thing, if you take the pop filter off, it it's metal inside. A lot of these, when you buy them, all the internals of the mic are plastic. So you open it up, you get a plastic cage and all that. So it's built really well. I like that. I just like the fact that it checks all the boxes and it's really reasonably priced. So if you're a podcaster, this you can hook up two of them to a podcasting station. You can use USB C cables, and it's just much simpler to run. So yeah, it takes care of you. Like I said, you've got your own gain knob on it and everything. So anyway, I just wanted to give you an update on this mic. That I'm happy with it. Um, it is a good box checking mic for if you're trying to keep a podcast going and or if you're running a live stream. Really nice. Um, so the other thing that makes this system good is the boom arm. So this is the other piece that I added to this. And if you notice the boom arm on this one, so let's go ahead and look at it. You'll notice that it's all solid material. It has a nice big mount that is beefy, and it doesn't, you don't have to crank it down. It's got nice big pads, so when it comes and clamps together, you don't have to crank it down. So if you're trying to protect your table and stuff like that, and it swings nice. I can literally, so if I go from here over to my workbench, so if I move over to my workbench, it swings over perfect. So now I'm working at bench, and I now have that simple switch over. So there you go. I mean, I like that. It's got a nice even swing arm, and just everything looks good. It's slick. It's streamlined, and all of those things I really like. I like streamlinedness. Everything is just really nicely put together. German engineering. There you go. So I have a mic fetish. I think you have to kind of. I have a camera fetish, Kai. It's a camera fetish, not a mic fetish. All right. Anyway, that was one thing I wanted to tell you about is that I updated this mic. I really am happy with its sound. So really quick before I move out of here, because I'm definitely gonna do a dedicated video on this. That's just gonna go quickly over it in the future here. What I do, let me just show you how I've got it set up really quick. If you have it set up for OBS, okay. So let me just go into the filters, so you can see how I've got it set up in my filter system. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a view of that. So this is how I've got my filters set up. They're set up in a row. So I've got my noise suppressor at the top. So right there, you've got two choices. You've got the low usage CPU, low quality, and then you got the more CPU. You always check the best box, okay? So one of them, the low quality one, I can actually adjust. So I just switched it over there. But this is the one that I use, and it basically it auto detects. Okay. Okay. The other thing is my gain control. I've got multiple gain controls, so I've got that set up second. The third thing I have set up on here is my three band equalizer. So what's really happened with OBS to make it better is they added the equalizer so you can make those minor adjustments for a lower microphone cost, a sound for a lower cost microphone. So, and then no, I don't have more mics than cameras. I got way more cameras than mics. The second the fourth thing I have set up is my in my output is my compressor. So I've got my a threshold and attack set. My attack set at like 6 milliseconds. I should probably drop it down to 4. So that's when it picks up sound, it quickly reacts, and then the threshold is how much power it's going to allow me to basically generate before it so it doesn't basically clip on me. So that's been my problem is, with any mic you set up is it going to clip or not, while you're talking. And this one it tops out at -10. That's probably too high. Yeah, I think most people have it around -7. Um, but I'm trying to keep it from being too loud. And then you got my release point is at 60 milliseconds. And then this output gain is at 0. So I don't fight between the 3 different gain controls. The last one is my limiter. So you've got 2 limiters. The compressor actually has a limiter as well. So you got to be careful that you don't get too crazy with that. So this one I have set at 4 milliseconds. I probably could get by with just the compressor. There's actually a new one in here called an upward compressor, which there's a lot of different settings that you can use, but that's another. And then you can bring in all kinds of other stuff. You can bring in outside filtering it's called a VST plugin. But anyway, that's how I've got it set up. I can actually set it for ducking too. So if I wanted to duck, like if I had sound playing, like if I had like audio, like a soundtrack playing in the background to make my podcast a little bit more like friendly, sound friendly, I would basically check a sound source, and then I can duck that sound source. So anytime I talk, it's going to turn that sound source down. And then anytime I stop talking, I pause, it brings in that nice background music. Anyway, that's how I have it set up. That's my filtering setup for this mic at this point. So anyway, that's that. All right. Okay. The most important part of what I want to talk about today is not the mic. Okay. It's don't fix if it ain't broke. Looking back at that. The most important thing is my results from my ultra test. Okay. So, the other day I went out and did a test with my Go Ultra. Okay. So the Go Ultra, there's a lot of, there are a lot of people questioning this camera. And some of the questions are, if I already have this camera, so if I'm already shooting with the Ace Pro 2, do I need this? Is there an advantage or a disadvantage between this and the Ace Pro 2? And really the answer to that is both of them can do it the exact same thing. So, but what this one can't do and recreate is all of those those transition shots that I did. I can't mount this on my chest unless I have this massive harness because it's too heavy. This thing is way heavier than the Instago 2. It does have a nice big flip screen, but once again, that has a nice big flip screen. They're both, this one, I guess you can say is waterproof, but that one, the Instago 2, is waterproof when I take the pod out. So there's just, you basically have to decide whether you want portability and without having any issues with quality changing. So one of the things about the Go 3S was that when you had the Go 3S, you lost quality when you changed over from a camera with a larger sensor to that one. What's nice about the Ultra now is that you literally just replace this. If you bought the Ultra, you replace this camera, but you did it at a cost because this one right now is much cheaper than the Ultra. And a lot of people can't get over whole dynamic. It sounds like some high tech shit you got going on here. Oh yeah, it is. But anyway, I'm trying to basically say that, if you've got this, do you wanna go to that? Okay, do you need to go to the Ultra? And the short answer is no. But if you like the portability factor, if you like the small and portable factor, you have to go to the smaller camera, especially when I'm traveling. But there's a ton of really cool things that they did to the Ace Pro 2. And one of the things that is a huge advantage of the Ace Pro 2 is that the Ace Pro 2 is more friendly with other peripherals. So right now they're trying. The thing I don't like about what Insta360 is doing with their Ultra is they're forcing you to buy or add a bunch of. They send a bunch of. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. They send you a bunch of things that. Here, let me go change over. That are not very good accessories. I'm fighting with some of these accessories right now with the Ultra. To be honest, I am not fighting with the camera. The camera has been really, really, really easy to use, and I just like it being smaller. But the mounting system they changed the mounting system on it, and I call bullshit on that. I really dislike the mounting system. I don't know why. I do know why. I know why they changed it. Why they don't do what DJI does, which is to allow for people to use their old mounting gear because we like it. We like this stuff. And for Insta360 to force a bunch of other accessories that really don't change the usability. I mean, the size of this and really the size of the accessories, the arm, the magnetic pieces. They're just, I guess the one advantage. Okay, so this one's, useful for both products. So I can connect it to the X5, I can connect it to, my other two cameras. It just makes no sense that we didn't use this exact same mount or just at least the prong system. It just, to me, that's absolutely frustrating. I'll go through them right now and tell you what I think is good and what is not good in this kit. Okay. All right. So I went and bought the creator kit. or the creator bundle, and we've got all of these, all of these accessories. And to be quite honest, only one of them is worth its weight, at all. And the one accessory is the regular mount. It's at the very bottom, the T mount. But what they did, they with the T mount, instead of making it simple like this, they made it angled. They angled it. I don't know. I mean, I know why they did it, but it's they basically made it angled permanently. So you have to basically tilt it back to make it straight up and down or have it fit inside of your case. Um, and Kai and I were goofing around with the handles. We were saying, hey, this handle's better than that handle. I don't like this handle, But the truth of the matter is the old school, the Ulanzi handle has everything you want on it. So we have two parts that take care of, on that system, you have all these little dinky pieces you have to add on, and each piece you add on adds length to this thing. So I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of the Instago, handle. And this is the Ulanzi MT16. This, Kai's already showed you the handle, the other Insta360 handle, but this one just opens up. It's got a cold shoe mount built onto it. It has a 1/4-20 thread built onto it, and it angles. It does it all. You don't have to add anything to this thing, and it extends. So it does everything. So I'm fighting with that other one. I'm trying to love it, and I just don't. I don't like any of the accessories that come with the camera. So if you're going to buy the Ultra, okay, if you're going to buy the Ultra, just buy the camera. Just buy the basic camera and add all of your own accessories. Do not buy any of the accessories for that camera. I'm so glad I didn't get that as a gift from those guys, because I would be struggling right now to tell you that I like any of the accessories that came with it. Where the ones that they've put out for their other two cameras, and quite frankly, the aftermarket parts for the Ultra are all better. So I just say go aftermarket. Go aftermarket for the Ultra. Okay. Hey, how you doing? Okay, so now that I've gone through pretty much everything I wanted to go through. I love this camera. It has really amazing video quality, I thought, coming out of it. So I'm gonna go and show you just a teeny bit of the footage that I have. Let's go and get that going here. And so this is the footage that I shot yesterday. And I'll go ahead and make sure we shut off. Now in 1080p, but I would say the only thing people are not going to like about it is some people don't like it's kind of like DJI has a more of a blue tone, where Insta360 does the magenta, the reds, and what ends up is you get more yellow and red as opposed to as and those are more bright and brilliant colors, different than the blue tones of DJI. A lot of people like the dullness of the DJI tones, but they've done some amazing stuff with this one, as far as what it does to your skin, as far as skin tones are concerned. Trying to find what I consider to be, this is the close-up shot. This one you can tell is getting you can see it's correcting my face. So you can see what I look like now. Both of these are Insta360 cameras. The Link is an Insta360, but I think it's doing a really good job at just keeping a natural appearance. Now, remember, you're looking at it at 1080p. I thought it did a really nice job with the landscape. So as I was driving, the switch over to take the pod out and put it in, taking it in and out and just switching it over, that is amazing. And the if you look at the mount accessory on it, it's magnetic. So that little mount accessory, once you take the camera off, you could pull off the pod and you can just slap on the magnetic on the camera itself, and it sticks to that thing. So that's why they widened it out. So what I'm talking about is the width right there of the mount. It's much wider than the Ace Pro mount, and I think that's just an engineering issue. I think they're trying to do too much sometimes, and sometimes when you do too much, you really don't get better. You just get more complicated. You know, instead of getting better, you don't get you get more complex. So I really, this was a really enjoyable camera. I thought the sound quality was excellent. I thought, now this is looking in away from the sun. You can see that, you've got the yellows up in the sky there. You've got the lit up school in the backdrop. So here's another shot with me in the back. There's the yellows behind me again. Here, this is the best scene though. I think this is the one that really kind of tells the most about how good this camera can adjust. Okay, so this is the scene where I stop it, and then I do the camera switch over. So I'll get back going again here. And when I take off, that was actually a pretty good shot there, looking up into the camera. Here, we'll get a shot up in the tree. It's just right there. That really shows you that's where I really like the, this is where I really like the Insta360. The Insta360 makes the greens to me look really like happy greens. DJI tends to make their greens a little bit too dark, you know. So and the Insta360 Ultra makes them happy, and that's why the camera makes everything happier. But if you're a camera purist, you're not going to like it. You're going to think things are cartoonish. That's what you hear a lot from people that don't like the Insta360. But they're catering to, wow, that, and then you can see this, my skin on there it looks just like it is now. It's very consistent, very consistent. So there I'm looking at the monitor. There's very little latency between me holding the camera and the monitor. It's very, very good. So whatever they're using for their chipset is making that latency less. So that's a good thing. Now I'm going to be mounting this thing onto a drone here pretty soon. So, but I wanted to do a vlog where I was testing stability, the stability of that camera, and then of course wind noise from a bike. Those two things are very important if you're going to do moto vlogs. So this is a great moto vlogging too, right there. There's another one. You see behind me, the sun is there. So this one's really exposing well for me, and then the bright sun behind me. I think it's good. I don't have any clouds. That would be the only thing that would have been nice, is if there would have been um yeah. So you're saying no detail, blurry? Yeah, I have the camera set that way. I don't, when you have too much, Howie, when you have too much detail, what it does is it makes the image look fake. And I go into the camera settings and I turn the sharpness way down. Okay. So this one does have a lot of detail. If you look at my face, I don't like that. You see, if you look at my eyes, obviously I'm getting older and I've got like creases on my eyes. Or you see the skin, the skin looks uneven. those are if you the more you increase the sharpness of the camera, the more those stick out, and that is just not good. So what photographers do is they soften the image and they turn the sharpness way down. So yeah, if you like lots of like crispy details, turn up the sharpness, and that this one will let you do that. It'll actually do that really well. So let me get going. Yeah, it is. I agree with you that there's blurriness to that background, and to be quite honest, that's what background should be. I should be sharp, so it's in face priority. So I should be sharp, in my background as it goes further away should be more and more have less detail. That's natural. That's how we see things in real life. So I'm just bringing up some points. But if you like a certain amount of detail, hey, when DJI comes out with their mini camera, um, we're gonna put them. We're definitely gonna see the difference. So um, yeah, I'm with you. If plus they're going to get you're going to get the Go 3 S, oval camera style, the more compact, something that would be more drone friendly. This one is drone friendly. It's higher profile. So anyway, here's the last little bit of that scene, and then I'm going to end it. I just wanted you to see a couple of things from that vlog I thought were so there. Now look at me though. This is a sharp shot right here, and you can see all the sharpness. My face is freaking, looks like sandpaper, and that's not what my face looks like. It doesn't look like sandpaper. But when you sharpen it, all the edges of the face become more prominent. That is not good photography when you have too much sharpness, and you don't have that transition from sharp to light, okay, or detail. They call it pop, okay. Pop is focusing on, but if you're looking for close focus, that's really good close focus. And one of the biggest problems with cameras, these action cameras, are the bigger the sensor, the harder to close focus. You can't get the camera close to you unless you have a special lens for close focusing. Okay, so yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Howie. I'm actually agreeing with you. Yeah, some people like that detail, but for a vlog, I don't want that. I don't, I would say I need to turn it down even more. But if I'm just going to do scenery, I'm going to pump up the detail. Okay, the last little bit of this is the sunset shot. So let me go. Let me put the camera. I'm going to mount it again. I'm going to mount it, and I'm going to start riding, and this is where you're going to see lens flare. So the next thing is lens flare. What does the lens do when it's looking into the sun? Actually has some pleasing lens attributes. So every lens gives you a certain amount of, we call flare. Flare is a natural thing that the lens does, and photographers have to embrace it, because if you don't embrace lens flare, you are going to hate everything that looks into light. Okay, because it's a natural reflection off your lens. And electronically, cameras can actually adjust some of that stuff. So now the sun's right in your face. Okay, the camera's looking right back into the sun, right there. Okay, you see the lens flare right there? So that's right next to my face. You're seeing those lines and that sun. So it's trying to compensate for the sun being bright and me actually being able to be put into the shot. Okay, so the camera is, if you don't have a really good sensor, it's struggling with this. This is really difficult camera stuff. So let's see, but you even could not see the DJI in your mic. Um, did you check it? Did you check the here? Let me go full screen. I don't want to. If I hit full screen, it's going to do funky stuff to me. So yeah, because what I'm doing is I've got a really small image, and that DJI is small on that mic. But potato potato there, hobby. Okay. Go take your when I take out the when I get the Nano camera, I think the DJI is going to be called the DJI Nano. Um, we're going to definitely have a battle of what it does and what people like. You're either going to like that or you're not going to like that. So Possum, when you know what, it's a personal thing, right? When you put a camera on and you either like or not. So what I think would be interesting would be to have the contrasting cameras. When I took this ride, I did not want to have four cameras hanging on. I didn't want to be running two sets of gear. And when we get the another Nano, we're going to do that. We will have two sets of gear. But guys, remember, I'm using DJI mics, the mic system. I'm not using an Insta360 mic, so I haven't dispensed with DJI completely. There's no question that I haven't done that. But I was really happy. I personally I'm driving through water. Okay, so I just hit some sprinklers. Um, so that's kind of a fun shot there. So we get going, and then I go into this. I get flying, and then I mean, there's a lot of detail in that image. And then I'm running through lens flare, and now there's water right there. I mean, that's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty neat. That one shot right there. But yeah, I'm not gonna argue with what you see. So make sure if you haven't, make sure you look at I will look at it too. I'm gonna go and see if the DJI is really that hard to see. Maybe I'll take my Canon camera and do that. I'll take my APS-C Canon and do a vlog with it and put my little DJI Mini on and just see if it picks up the mic, the mic detail. But we're talking, guys. We're talking the difference between $1,000 and half price. The Ultra is under $500, so and more than likely the Ultra should be probably priced in the 380, 370, 80, 90 range. So I just thought that was a fun shot there. But because this is really hard stuff to get exposure on, very hard to get that exposure. So, and anytime, like I said, any change, you can't even see anything on that one, but they can, but there, the wind muff is over the top. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Look at some of the other details in it. I guess you could look at license plates of cars. So I'll check that. I think I'll do that. I'll go and look at it in 4K and to see, can I see license plates? Can I see the stars on a flag and know that it's because there's things like that, those details that are nice. So anyway, I just want you to check that out if you have not. This is a little yellow, I would say. I do think that this image is yellow, and my face there's magenta in that. Okay, and a lot of people don't like that magenta, that red, especially when I've just cropped into that image. Okay, so a lot of people don't like this about this camera. This is the shot that they would say makes this camera suck. Okay, or cartoonish is the question, so this is not a very what I would consider to be a. Now I'm going to go back to the next part of that scene where I focus out. Okay, so here, let me go back to the next right there where I switch the camera to right there. You see how the magenta went down? So when I close focused, it had trouble and it gave me that really deep magenta look. I'm not necessarily super happy with this image here. So, but I'm not, guys, if I'm going out for a bike ride and I want to just capture the bike, I've got really great stabilization. I've got really excellent sound acquisition. I got really decent images. I think there's some pleasing images there. If I had some clouds, I guarantee you'd like this video more because the clouds have white in it and gray. and that's what's missing. There's no whites and grays. I think my black of my shirt is pretty accurate. So, um, HD. Oh yeah, I did have it in HDR mode. That is true. So that's a good comment. But hopefully, what Kai's been wanting me to do is he wants me to go buy the Action 2 and do a side by side, which is a really good test. But the problem with doing the Action 2 test is nobody cares. The Action 2 is history, you know, and everybody wants to see the new stuff, and that's what as a channel, I should show the new stuff, they want to compare it to something that they might buy now, maybe not an older camera that they won't buy. I think an Action 5 is perfectly fair. I don't care what, I guess I don't care what the sensor is. I think if you and then get it out of HDR mode, put them both in normal profile. So anyway, I think that's enough for today. I hope that was helpful. I do like the camera. I really like it. I would take it traveling. I'm not gonna pixel peep it to death to think that it's not gonna be. But to be quite honest, if DJI puts out their camera, then their nano camera, I get a hold of it and I put it up against this one, where it's gonna have a battle. Okay, we'll have a fight because DJI is going to put their color profile against the magenta profile. Like I said, we'll get the HDR off and make it fair. So anyway, I think it needs to be fair. And like I said, some people like the contrast of the one and over the other. And yeah, it's HDR. All right, guys, I am going to haul this a day. And yeah, I hope hopefully you like this, or at least I gave this mic a good shot at becoming my permanent mic. I've thought about buying the Shure mics. They're $200, but they are XLR. I would have to have an audio interface. I don't want an audio interface. I think there is a Shure XLR version with there is a Shure USB-C version, USB version mic that does have a preamp. And I just, to me, we got to, most of us are on a budget. So this is a really good budget option. And like I said, it's doing great. Very happy. I like the build. I like what it looks like. I like the swing arm. I really think it looks good. Very clean. So yeah, and I like that it has a really nice big sound field. It's really complimentary for my jittery, live streaming style, because I'm all over the place. So all right, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Yeah, and I'll put more footage up for you guys. I'm gonna take your comments and seriously, and I'm going to get the HDR off. I'm going to do maybe a pre side by side, maybe a short, nothing as long as this one. This one's really long. Do something quicker and put it up against maybe the Action 5, or even put it up the different sensor sizes between the the non HDR mode of the Ace Pro 2. Those are options as well. Maybe I'll put it up against the Action 4. The Action 4 is a really budget camera right now. And people really like the color science out of the Action 4. They really like it. I keep it because it's very highly sought after. People like that camera. So, and it does have mic compatibility with all my gear. So it's kind of like, a goggle choice, where it does it have compatibility or not. And the gripe side, I don't like the accessories of the Ultra, and I don't like the fact that they don't make their own product compatible with their own products. They got to stop that. They got to stop trying to nickel and dime us into thinking that is the way to run the business. And no, their way to run the business is to make that camera so good and make their accessories so good that we are going to want to add those accessories to that camera, and we're going to mix and match them with our other cameras. Make an ecosystem. But right now they don't have an ecosystem. It's not eco anything. It's it's all over the place. So, all right. Thank you guys. I appreciate you jumping in. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully that was helpful in understanding a couple of products. Hopefully you give these two. If you're thinking about podcasting, you give those two options. The K688, what I'm using now, and then the boom mic. That's the boom right there, 88. Which is a really nice, very reasonably priced accessory. You can buy both of these right now for about $150. And if you're starting a podcast, absolutely very good gear. And yes, you can XLR this mic. So if you have an audio interface you want to use, and I've heard them both. I've seen people put this mic through a really expensive audio stack, and I think it does it justice. So, alrighty, I am officially done. Thank you so much today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And hopefully we get something to fly. I do have some discussion in flying. I think we'll talk about it on Tuesday of next week. I've had some issues just to finish out. I'm having some issues getting this thing bound. I got to get that figured out. This is my femto. I got my batteries. I can't fly it until I get my, it is ELRS. So that's a good thing. But I'm not getting it bound yet. So I got to figure out what I'm screwing up with that. And my 6-inch quad is a camera that I replaced it with. It's got a calibration issue. I can't get it to log in. So I got 2 drones right now that are frustrating me. So I'm going to figure those problems out, hopefully, and get them flying again. Remember the one I broke the camera on? Well, the broken camera actually works fine, but I replaced it with a new camera that is now out of calibration. So, okay, yeah, and I'll get the Kai. We'll get it going, and so, and yeah, I'm back on the bikes, guys. I possibly might have another bike coming. So I'm excited about that. If I have a new bike coming, it's just fun for camera season to get on bikes. And I did talk about bringing the Neo with me, just the Neo. I'm not going to bring any controllers, nothing. I'm just going to bring the Neo and batteries, throw it in my backpack, and then do some Neo stuff with it in my backpack. So when I'm riding with my camera, so I've never done that. I've never taken the Neo by itself out. I've always had it with other stuff. So, all righty, guys, have a great weekend. And let's see, where is my outro? There it is right there. Have a great one. Thank you for joining me today. If you have not, please check if you have not, please comment if you have any more questions about the Ultra. Thank you, Howie, for your comments because they are very valid. Is it focused enough? Is it enough of a focus for us? Is it pleasing to your eye, or is it cartoony? I like the compact nature of it, and if you travel, compact to me is everything. If it's good and it's compact, my Goal 3 I figured out, and this one I think is going to have the same growing pains. I think what they're going to do is they're going to throw some firmware updates through it, and we're gonna fix that. So, all righty, guys, have a good one. See you, Kai. And yes, I will bug you as soon as I figure out my issues right now. I gotta make sure I can get the Wi-Fi showing up. Hopefully I didn't screw that up. So, yeah, my ELRS Wi-Fi, I think I might have messed it up. So I gotta make sure that that's the case. And then I gotta figure out plan B. So, all right, have a great weekend. Bye.